Hi, good people. So we're here to talk about how do we recognize a stroke. I think the challenge out there is we do not know when someone is having a stroke. When stroke strikes, how will it present as? So these are the common symptoms. Not only will they present differently in different people, but sometimes you may have one of the symptoms. You will not have all the symptoms presenting at the same time. There's a mnemonic that can be used by people to help you to remember what a stroke would present like. It's called Be Fast. BEFAST. Be Fast. Be Fast. What does it stand for? B stands for balance issues. So many people will say, I woke up and I felt as if I was drunk. I was dizzy. I didn't find my balance. Or just sudden onset, someone is saying they cannot, stand up straight. They're losing their balance. That's what the B stands for. The E change is for eye changes. This is vision changes. So you're gonna hear people are saying, I felt like, there's a part of, I was reading a book and I couldn't see, the other half of the sentence, or I couldn't tell the time correctly. I could only see half of the clock, or, and sometimes the symptoms as well come and change, and we'll talk about that later. That would be a transient ischemic attack. So these are symptoms that come and then they go. They do not persist, but that is a signal that there is a possible stroke that's happening there. So we spoke about the balance changes. We've talked about the eye changes, which are mainly related to visual deficits or blurred vision, or feeling like there's a curtain that has come over your eye. That's the eye change. And then the F would stand for a facial droop. This is what commonly presents, what people present with commonly. Many people may recognize the face changes. You might find that your partner or whoever's near you says, oh, do your face is drooping on the one side. Either your mouth is slouching down to the one side or your eyelid is drooping. That's a common one and maybe easy to recognize. Someone will also say they were drinking, maybe having a cup of tea, for instance, and while they were drinking that cup of tea, they just felt like, the liquid there is trickling down the corner of their mouth. That's because the corner of the mouth there is drooping. So that's going to be for facial droop. That's the F. The A is going to be for arm weakness. So again, very easy to identify. Someone will say, I could not lift up my arm, or I was trying to write a pen and realized I couldn't, take a grip of that pen and hold it tightly. So they can lift up their arm, but just small deficit would be they're not able to grip their pen properly. Or they might say as well, the arm feels a bit numb. So it could be numbness in the face, numbness as well in the arm, without the weakness. We say arm weakness, but it also includes leg weakness as well. So for the mnemonic, the A stands for arm weakness, but again, remember, it just means limb weakness, which can either be your arm or your leg. It can also mean, sensory deficit, where you cannot feel the arm properly or you cannot feel the leg properly. Moving on to the S. S is for speech. So your changes in the speech either becomes a bit more slurred. Someone is trying to say a word, they're saying the word correctly, but it just feels or sounds a bit slurred. The other speech deficit is someone knows that what they want to say, but they can't express it to you. They're looking for the words to say and they cannot just say the words out. In some instances, someone can be able to, you can ask them what's their name, you give them a piece of paper, they can be able to write it down. That's one of the speech deficits. On another deficit, they are not able to recall at all what their name is. So that's how speech deficit will present us. Sometimes it's slurred, sometimes just the expression of it is just not there. And lastly, the T stands for time. It is important to know that time is brain. The longer that there is no intervention being done to deal with the problem that's causing the stroke, the higher the chances of poor outcomes. So the B fast mnemonic stands for balance, eye changes, facial droop, arm weakness, slurred speech or speech changes. T is time is brain. Remember, time is brain. So be fast.